What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Hard Count. Hope everybody is doing well as per usual. You got your boy and my guy CJ over here, looking like the Mr. Aficionado over here, eh? The big boardroom guy.
So my girl, her complex got like a little conference room, so it's free available. So I just try to test it out back in the city, man. So just try to make some things happen. But yeah, I'm doing good though. Doing good. Solid week. Can't complain, man. Can't complain.
Well, alrighty. Let's get into the swing of things, I would say. Obviously, oh gosh, got to turn down that audio. But obviously, we were not here last week, so we got to hit up the Super Bowl. Got to talk about obviously the finale to the NFL season. That would be with the Chiefs beating the 49ers, 25-22 victory. The dynasty, of course, has been cemented in overtime. Definitely some interesting things here. I've talked about on a couple of my shows with Gen Z and taking action. I mean, listen, we'll just jump right into it. Obviously, McCaffrey, first drive of the game with the fumble. Usually that is a killer, but I feel like they were able to recover from it pretty well just because it was so early on in the game, obviously, with it being just the first drive. But they were definitely going to end up scoring. So, you look back on it and, it definitely hurts a little bit. You want to see what would have happened if that, fumble does not happen there, because maybe the momentum, the whole game changes. You never know. Mahomes interception, Pacheco had a fumble. It was a pretty turnover happy game for a Super Bowl, which I feel like we don't see very often. Usually this is obviously very buttoned up, with it being the last game of the season, with everything on the line, usually very buttoned up, but definitely some turnovers in this game. And, you go back and forth on everything, but, just kind of getting to the turning point, I would say, obviously, is the fumble, the punt fumble for the 49ers. They force another Kansas City punt, and it gets hit by a 49er, so the ball is live, and I think everybody tries to play hero ball, and the returner tries to pick it up instead of just falling on it. You kind of look back and wish that he would have just fell on it. Obviously, if you're a 49er fan, you're definitely wishing he just fell on it, but hey, it is what it is. But I think that really gave the Chiefs the momentum that they, were desperately looking for, because up until that point, they were doing absolutely nothing on offense. They get the easy touchdown. They take a lead in the game. Definitely, and then ends up being back and forth. We get into overtime, which is the second. Maybe. Listen, the decision for me from Shanahan to take the ball does not make any sense to me. I've seen, the arguments for both sides, and I am clearly on the side of, he should have deferred. Me and Josh had a very big disagreement on this last week on Gen Z, where, for me, listen, if you elect to defer, like if you defer, you kick it off first, obviously you want the ball second, you know what you have to do. Like, to me, that's the biggest thing. You absolutely know what you have to do. You have 4 downs instead of 3. If a field goal is going to tie, if a field goal is going to win it, exactly what the game plan has to be. And I would just much rather prefer not giving Patrick Mahomes an extra down, because that's essentially what you're doing. They go down, they kick the field goal. Obviously they get saved at the very beginning with a terrible penalty by the Chiefs with the holding on like a 3rd and 17 or something of that nature, which would have given the Chiefs excellent field position. They get the automatic first down. They drive down the field a little bit more, and they end up getting that field goal. But now you're giving the ball back to Patrick Mahomes where he knows he has to go for it on all 4 downs. So It's not like he's punting. So you have to stop him 4 times instead of three. 3 times is already difficult enough. And then, I guess I guess I understand where, well, if the Chiefs had kicked a field goal, then it's sudden death, and the next score wins. I get all that, but you never got to that point. You didn't get to that point, and you see the argument that the 49er defense was tired from the previous drive, gridiron. Hope all is well as per usual. What's going on? But yeah, just definitely was not in love with that decision making. And listen, Shanahan's done this 3 times, 3 times in Super Bowls. I mean, he was the offensive coordinator for the Falcons against the Patriots, which, don't get me wrong, I greatly appreciate everything you've done for me. Greatest comeback in Super Bowl history was literally due to the fact that the Falcons just decided they didn't want to run the ball. Dante Hightower would never have the opportunity to get that strip sack. What also, I think they also got to sack him like a second down and then a holding call to get them out of field goal range because they were still trying to pass the ball. So, like I said, greatly appreciate Kyle Shanahan on that end. But you were also up 10 points against the Chiefs the first time in the Super Bowl. I believe that was in the fourth quarter. You blew that lead, and then obviously at one point you were up 10-0 in this game. You end up blowing that lead, losing it in overtime. So hey, good for the Chiefs. And obviously, you don't take anything away from them. The defense played very well once again, when at the beginning of the game, it looked like it was going to be real rough. Because that first half, the 49ers definitely dominated both sides of the ball, especially in the trenches. It looked like the 49ers were the Chiefs were getting absolutely bullied on everything. And then, definitely a little turning point with Greenlaw going down with the Achilles injury, just absolutely awful. This dude is getting himself hyped up to go run out onto the field after a drive, and just the absolute most normal way ever, and tears his Achilles, which is just terrible. But obviously it is what it is. That's definitely another turning point. But Shanahan, 3 times is crazy. I mean, I know McCaffrey definitely wasn't averaging, 5 yards a carry. I think actually what it came out to, like, maybe like the low 3s or even the high 2s of what he ended up averaging per yard or per carry in this game. But even if you do want to pass, get him on the swing route, some screen passes, things that we said going into the game. And listen, Kyle Shanahan is a very successful coach, so who am I to question him? But when you do it 3 times, I question it a little bit. Just saying. CJ, what are your thoughts there?
Well, I mean, look, for the people watching, just look at the box score right there on the right. Third quarter, 0 points for the 49ers. I mean, that was really the game. And like you said, they had the lead. I really don't know what. Again, and the Chiefs' defense is really good. Like it's not like the Chiefs' defense isn't great. And, they just had a really good game. They've carried the Chiefs the entire season. Especially in the regular season. Of course, postseason, Mahomes made plays. He's going to make plays. He's special. But that third quarter, man, says it all. Just McCaffrey, I think he had like 2 yards. How does he get 2 yards in 15 minutes? And they had multiple series in that quarter. It was kind of 3 and out for both teams in the third. Until the Chiefs were able to break through. Remember, to start the third quarter, Mahomes threw a pick. I was like, yo, this might be curtains. I mean, they go down here and score. I was looking at like what a 14 point. I think it would have been 17-3 or something like that.
Yeah.
So that changes everything. That changes how you call plays. But I gotta give credit to Kansas City's defense. They got the stops. They made it 3rd and long. They did exactly what we expected. Well, what we said in terms of their keys to victory. We previewed the Super Bowl. So that's how you got to beat Purdy in this offense. Like, he's not a guy he's an in a rhythm quarterback. He's not a guy that can go get, on third and 12 or 3rd and 9. He's not going to make that spectacular throw to extend series. It's kind of single. Okay, this is a big play. Back to single. If you take away his rhythm, he becomes regular. And listen, a lot of people, and I picked the 49ers to win this game. I thought he would I didn't think he would outplay Mahomes, but I thought he would make just a couple key throws to help them, secure the lead because the defense obviously really good. I knew it was going to be a close game. I think I said the magic number was 27. I mean, close right there, right? 25, 22. Yeah. So he just didn't make those throws, and people were saying he doesn't deserve a lot of criticism. And I mean, it's not all his fault, but when you go up against Patrick Mahomes, you have to be special. You just have to be special. Look at Josh Allen's fourth quarter. They played Buffalo on the road. They didn't get it done. First 3 quarters, solid. Did enough, had a lead. In the fourth quarter, nowhere to be found. Lamar Jackson had pretty much the whole game, outside of 2 plays to Zay Flowers, right?
Yep.
Non-existent. So I truly believe, I thought this would be the year. At least one team would beat Kansas City. And then, once they got the receiver, Kelsey's got a couple years left. Of course, they'll add guys, but they still got it done. They still got it done. For Kyle Shanahan, it's just I really just feel like he gets in his own way. Really, you got the offensive player of the year right there in the backfield, and I agree with you. You got to be creative with your play calling. This is what he's supposed to be known for, right? He's supposed to be one of these offensive geniuses like McVay, LaFleur when he was playing. I mean, even not when Rodgers was there. Obviously, we saw what he's done with Jordan Love. All of these guys that people love to crown and call them offensive geniuses. The only offensive genius right now in the NFL is Andy Reid. That's it. That's the only. And listen, okay, that's easy to say. He has Patrick Mahomes, okay, but he's been successful and he's gone to a Super Bowl. He's been to conference championship games without Patrick Mahomes. Now, yes, you become Mount Rushmore. I think he's in a Mount Rushmore to me. We could argue that, but because I don't see them stopping anytime soon. He's 28, Mahomes 28 years old. I think Andy Reid's like 62. So I mean, they could do this thing for another 10 years. I mean, let's just say 7, right? So I think I have to be on a Mount Rushmore of coaching. And he's been successful without Mahomes. Now, yeah, when you get a guy like Mahomes, it transforms everything. And this is what I want to say too about Mahomes. He wasn't a guaranteed legend for like this. He was the 10th pick, but he really wasn't supposed to be the 10th pick. Remember, Kansas City traded up because the Saints wanted him, and they were just going to wait. I think the Saints had the 12th pick, and Kansas City traded up to 10 to get him because they knew that the Saints were probably going to take him because around that time, obviously Drew Brees was pretty much on the cusp of getting up out of there in a couple of years. So I remember, and I'll ask you this after. I remember before he got drafted. Of course, the Trubisky talks. People were in love with Trubisky. They thought he was the guy. Hence why he went number 2 to Chicago. But it was a lot of Big 12. Oh, he played in the Big 12. He only put up numbers in the Big 12. This is my home there before he got drafted. Big 12. He only played in all the quarterbacks in the Big 12 put up big numbers. They're not playing any good defense. This is the same narrative we see all the time. They did the same thing to Jalen Hurts, all these guys.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like, he sat a year, right? So it's not like he was the number 1 pick. He was highly touted. Now, yeah, he went 10, and it wasn't like Brady, 299 or whatever, or 199. But it's still unprecedented to me because I remember what people were saying about him before he got drafted. And Texas wasn't like Texas Tech was a powerhouse either. They weren't a powerhouse in college football. I mean, they were like a 500 ball club. Cliff Kingsbury, and he's a 500 head coach. That's kind of what he's been his whole coaching career, collegiate and pro, right? So it's not like he had elite coaching. I mean, this is a special guy. He obviously put the work in. Of course, the genetics are there because his father played in Major League Baseball. And of course, covering the league. And I mean, just what he's done in these last 7 years, 6 since he's been playing, it's the greatest start to a career ever. period. Because I mean, and it will. And I guess like in a little bit we'll get into the Brady Mahomes talks, where you rank Mahomes and things like that. But when Brady's first 6 years, like it's tough to. I don't want to say he wasn't getting carried by the defense, but the defense was clearly. They had some guys like they had some dogs, and we all know the names. And Bill Belichick was the guy, the defensive genius, doing everything possible. And Brady was clutch, right? When it was time to make the plays, go down the field against the Rams, against the Eagles, against the Panthers. Because go back to that Panther game, it was him and Jake Delhomme going back and forth throughout the whole game. They got fortunate with that kickoff out of bounds, which led to them getting a nice solid drive there to keep that drive going. But it was the defense, run game. Brady just made a couple plays here and there. That's right. What he's doing right now, and then look at the team. Look at the roster. It's not like he doesn't have a Pro Bowl wide receiver. And there's only Rashee Rice made one of the top 2 plays at the wide receiver position in the Super Bowl. Everything else was Kelsey in the second half, and I'm glad they went to him in the second half. And of course, Greenlaw getting hurt definitely helped that because they attacked him. I'm pretty sure. Did you see the clip when I think it's turned or inside or mic'd up or something like that? As soon as Greenlaw went down, it's like, 57's out. Let's attack whoever that backup inside linebacker is. That's exactly what they did. Just masterful game planning. The overtime thing. I'm not against getting the ball as long as you're aggressive. I feel like they had an opportunity. Okay, look, because to me it's like I'm not kicking it. Yeah, of course, yeah, they even if you score to get the ball back, but I'm not settling for 3 against that guy, like with that guy right there on the sideline. I'm going. You got to get 6. You got to get 6. And we said this before the game. I said, cannot settle for field goals against Patrick Mahomes. You got to score touchdowns because it's much tougher to score touchdowns than it is to kick the field goal. And then overtime, you kick the field goal. Then we find out they didn't even know the rules.
Yeah, that was out of pocket.
And that to me is insane. That's insane to me. I mean, you got 2 weeks to prepare. You're only preparing for one team. Situational football should be paramount, especially this is the last game of the season. You don't know the overtime rules. That's unprofessional. I mean, there's no other way to describe it, bro. I mean, seriously, there's no other way to describe that than it being unprofessional. So
some would say it's malpractice.
For sure, no, without question. Without question, it's malpractice. And yeah, so when you're kicking a field goal, knowing you got Mahomes coming up next, you got to go touchdown for touchdown. That's what you have to do. If you go touchdown for touchdown, now you have a game. And I would have went for it on 4th down. And I know that the Chiefs, there was a lot of offensive line issues because I think one of their guards got hurt. And they came in and they brought in a different guard, and Chris Jones just blew up the whole play like a couple times in the red zone, which led to them kicking that field goal. But I'm going for it on 4th down. I have to. And they didn't do that. And they paid the price. 4th and 1. That read option, great play. People sleep on Mahomes' athletic ability to move, to run. He's very mobile. They sleep on that. He used his legs a lot. I think he led the team in rushing.
The game was over the second that happened. The second they got that 4th down, the game was over.
Yeah. Those are momentum type plays. I mean, we talk about that all the time. I mean, that was the play. I mean, that was one of the plays of the game. And then the touchdown to seal it. Beautiful. If those corners don't communicate, I got inside leverage. You got outside leverage. You're gonna get beat every time. They didn't do that. Travis, they got 2 people looking at Kelsey. McCole Hardman's wide open. That's GG's. It's GG's. So, man, it was just in the second half. It was a masterclass. The Kansas City Chiefs, and for the second half for the 49ers, it was a collapse. And as you said, that's kind of what we've seen with Kyle Shanahan as of late. So I mean, I'm used to it. I'm used to it at this point. There's no excuses. I mean, roster wise, yes, of course they don't have the better quarterback. But when it comes to roster,
it's the best roster in the league.
I mean, sure, for sure. And then what happened to Kittle? 4 yards?
2 catches for 4 yards.
4 yards in extra regulation. They got extra time. I don't get it. It was what, 70 minutes, right? Or was it, I think it's full 15, right? Isn't it full 15 in overtime now?
Yeah, especially in the playoffs, especially.
Yeah, so you got 75 minutes, and this guy has 4 yards. I don't understand it. Well, I do understand it. I just said it. He folds. He's a folder. He's a master seller, and it's just what it is. It's just what it is. There's no excuses. I feel like this was the year. Definitely, this was the year. Kansas City, their team led the league in drops, drop percentage. I mean, they had a couple of losses there. Like, what's going on? Lost to obviously the Bills loss was fine, but a couple other losses, like they were 11-6. It wasn't like they were the cream of the crop in the conference. But when it was time, they capitalized. To me, this is their most impressive Super Bowl run because they went on the road outside of the Miami game. They got the home game against Miami, and then you go Buffalo, Baltimore. I mean, those are the 2 most hostile places to go, and they got it done. And then you go to the Super Bowl, down 10, odds are against you against a stacked roster, and you go out there in overtime and close it out in historic fashion. Incredible season from the Kansas City Chiefs.
Gridiron said, "How do you guys think a Brady-led Bucs team would have done this year? Also, you guys watching the Dynasty?" I'll go with the Dynasty part first. No, I am not because, well, I don't have Apple TV. So if anybody wants to slide the Apple TV login, feel free.
I don't have Apple TV either.
Yeah, so Gridiron, Gridiron, feel free to DM us. Anytime with that Apple TV login, I'll gladly accept because I'd love to watch it.
What's the Dynasty? What is that?
It's you didn't hear about it? It's a 10-part docuseries about the Patriots.
Oh, no, I missed that.
Oh, yeah. No, and they interviewed everybody. Bill Vinatieri. This is like the what the hell is it called?
This is the Man in the Arena, but like times 1,000.
No. What's the Michael Jordan shit?
Oh, The Last Dance.
Yeah, this is The Last Dance, but Patriots version and like all of the rings. They go through everything.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I might have to check out one of my streams. No plugs, obviously. Not trying to get.
Yeah.
Might have to go on one of the streams and check it out to see it. So,
you can plug it into my DMs though. Feel free.
Definitely. If it's available, I got you, bro. I got you. But the first part was
What do you think? What do you think a Brady-led Bucs team would have done this year? I mean, honestly, you look at the NFC. They're either in the Super Bowl or they're losing in the conference championship game to the 49ers. Because I mean,
yeah, maybe. Todd Bowles not the best play caller. I mean, he's pretty good defensively, but obviously remember that call, that all-out blitz they did against the Rams, and Cooper Kupp was wide open down the field, which led to them.
But I mean, listen, they got to where they got with Baker Mayfield, who, no disrespect, had a great year. You put Brady back there, I'm figuring, say they have the exact same season. They're beating the Eagles, obviously, again. I think they would have ended up beating the Lions. It's not like the Lions killed the Bucs. They had an absolute. Actually, you know what? I'll say this.
It was a good game.
I mean, they could have won the Super Bowl if you really think about it. With the way the Bucs did everything, they beat the Eagles. They had a game with the Lions. Say they beat the Lions. The Lions were up 20 points on the 49ers. You think Brady's letting a 20-point comeback going to happen?
I agree. So, of course, yeah, of course not. Of course not.
So, they're in the Super Bowl right there. And then, listen, he's 2-0 against Mahomes in the playoffs. Just saying.
It would have definitely been. It would have been nice to see. It would have been nice to see. But also, we saw some talks about Brady, how Brady would have looked with the 49ers.
Oh, that would have been a wrap.
Even Kyle Shanahan came out and said he might try to get Brady to have Brock sit for a year. To me, if you feel like that's your guy, you don't say something. You don't say something like that publicly.
He literally told Brock Purdy that he is trying that before this year started, that he was trying to get Brady and that he was going to sit if he could. Like, that is wild. He literally told Brock Purdy, like, we are actively.
It was before the year.
Yeah, it was before this season. It was this season.
Okay, yeah, I don't have a problem with that. All right. I thought it was like during the season. I was
No. When before the season, he was like, "Listen, we're trying to get Brady. If we do, I'll see you on the bench there, brother."
Yeah, no, of course. I don't have a problem with that. I mean, it's Tom Brady. Yeah.
No, I mean, you got to expect it, but I mean, it's also if you're Brock Purdy, you also low key got to be like, "Damn, bro, I got you guys in the championship game last year. What do I got to do to at least get a little respect here?"
I think I don't think that would be his attitude towards him. I don't think that.
No. I mean, Brock Purdy came out and said like, "Yeah, I would." He said, I think he said like his statement was like, "Well, yeah, if you can get Brady, I would too," something of that nature. But it's not like obviously don't think you would come out and be like that was an absolute BS decision. But deep down, there's no way you're okay with that of just being like, "Oh yeah, obviously."
Yeah, probably as a competitor, of course, you want to go out there and right the wrong. And I mean, he did that. I mean, he got to Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Brady was with this roster. We haven't totally. I don't want to say we haven't totally different conversation, but it wouldn't have been this type of game because again, Brady is a field general. He's a field general. He's a surgeon. We know this obviously, watching this guy for 2 decades. So it's just different, and I wouldn't mind seeing Brady versus Mahomes again. I mean, it brings a lot of story. Present goal versus future goal, right? So. But it didn't happen. It didn't happen that way. And like I said, it's unfortunate for San Fran because we know what it looks like when these guys lose, when these teams lose.
It's hard to get back.
Yeah, it's tough to get back, and they got back, over the past couple of years. But it took a while. It took a couple quarterbacks. They drafted a quarterback that didn't work. They went to Garoppolo. They tried to go back to Garoppolo. That didn't work.
Well, they were actually healthy for once. I mean, obviously, with the exception of Dre Greenlaw, but I mean,
right. That was
every other season. It's like, oh yeah, the 49ers look great. Oh wait, they just lost 18 people in one game. Oh,
exactly. Yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one, and just for Kansas City, and then we could go into like the GOAT conversation real fast.
Yeah,
I think they're gonna get better. And they're going to get. There's no way they're gonna miss out on getting a wide receiver somewhere, whether it's free agency, whether it's in the draft. They're gonna hit a home. They're gonna hit on a guy. Rasheed Rice is already there. He's gonna continue to improve, get better. Now, I think this should be the offseason, whether it be a draft or free agency. They try to look for Kelsey's replacement. He is getting up there.
Yeah.
Once they're going to go for the DP, you wouldn't want to go for the DP. Obviously, that's historic, right? But I think it's time to start trying to find Kelsey's replacement now. Have that guy sit behind Kelsey, learn, grow, develop, and then when it's time, he's ready to go. Just like how we saw Alex Smith do that with Mahomes, and then as soon as Mahomes is ready, we see what we're watching now. So, like I said, the Chiefs are going to continue to get better. They're the scariest team in the world because, one, they got 15, and then two, their defense is pretty damn good. And Steve Spagnuolo is the second greatest defensive coordinator of all time. I mean, obviously Belichick is number one, but he did with those Giants teams.
You know what's crazy that no coordinators in the Hall of Fame?
Well, I think he might be the first one. I mean,
like from my eyes, and like I know it's kind of different, but like special teams isn't on the field all the time. You have one job there. Like obviously Vinatieri's going to be in the Hall of Fame. You got Ray Guy that's in the Hall of Fame. Like you got Devin Hester just made the Hall of Fame, obviously much more known for punt and kick returns than actually being a wide receiver like he was supposed to be. Like you got special teamers in the Hall of Fame. I can't believe no coordinators in the Hall of Fame. Like that blows my mind.
I think Spagnuolo might get in there. I mean, he has a great case. That's a great case.
I mean, you got to think of he has 4 rings now. You got to think of the teams he shut down. I mean, 07 Patriots, 11 Patriots. He doesn't really shut down the Eagles, I guess, because that was a high-scoring game, but still did enough to win. And then the 49ers with the crazy roster they have. Like, it's not like he has 4 Super Bowls against like teams we looked at and we're like, how the hell did they even get there? It's like, damn.
Right, exactly. So, I mean, when it's all said and done, he definitely will have the case probably being one of the first coordinators to get in the Hall because there's no question. I mean, what he did with this defense this year, It's been incredible. Last thing for me about this game is pay Chris Jones. Pay that man. Find a way. Make sure you get that right. Real quick. So obviously, go conversation. I still, of course, Tom is still number one, but there've been some talks about, would you go Mahomes second over Montana? I think it's a good discussion. I mean, listen, I love Joe Montana, but to me, I got Mahomes number two.
Yeah, yeah, listen.
I can't say it's recency bias. I mean, he's 28, has 3 Super Bowl rings, 3 Super Bowl MVPs, 2 regular season MVPs. Head and shoulders better than any other quarterback in the world. What am I supposed to say?
Yeah, his first season playing, obviously he sat his first year, but first season playing, went out and threw 50 touchdown passes. So, no, I agree. The whole GOAT conversation is cute to me. Obviously, let me know when he has 8. Let me know when Brady comes out of retirement and Mahomes beats him twice in the playoffs. Let me know when that happens. I'll die on the hill that Brady will forever be the GOAT. This is my Jordan and LeBron. I will not back down from that. People are dug into Jordan or dug into LeBron. I will forever be dug in. I'm dying on the hill. So listen, beat him in the playoffs twice, both times in his 40s. The man was 43 years old, beating him in a Super Bowl. And it's what about the offensive line? This and that. Listen, now we're going to start talking. Now we're going to start giving the team credit. You don't give the team credit ever. Do you ever say you ever say, oh yeah, that weird defensive end is a 4-time Super Bowl champion? No. You say the quarterback is a 4-time Super Bowl champion. You say the quarterback is this and that. Do wide receivers get wins? No. There's a quarterback win record, not a wide receiver win record. So if all of a sudden we're gonna start giving credit to other people. Now, is it messed up? Absolutely, because all the other players deserve credit? Obviously, but hey, I'm just following the rules here. So, listen, 7 Super Bowls, and I love how the GOAT conversation always has different things for depending on the person. Like for Brady, man had to work. He had 4 Super Bowls, but he had lost 2 previously, so it was he'll never be better than Montana. He's not 4 for 4. Then all of a sudden he wins 5, and it was okay, maybe he's better than Montana, I guess. And then it was 6, and it was okay, now we have to admit it. And then 7 was just if you're not admitting it now, you're just annoying. But then you have Aaron Rodgers, who was he's obviously, right there because he's the greatest talent we've ever seen. He's better than everybody else. So all of a sudden then, would you take Brady or Aaron Rodgers? Then all of a sudden it was Rodgers because he has a great talent. Now it's, Mahomes has done this by this age. He has to be the GOAT. We're going to keep knocking down the level. So what's next? If you win a Super Bowl in your first year, you're the GOAT because people don't do that often. Is that going to be the next thing we dumb it down to? But no, I'm dying on the hill. So you're not going to get I'll be one of those hot take. I'll be one of those hot take, first take people right now and just say that this is my hill to die on. But no, Brady, goated, probably always will be. No, because listen, you got to remember here, we forget that Brady was on this exact same path. Won a Super Bowl, then wins 2 in a row. You're oh, this dude's going to win 100. Went 10 years without winning another one. Now, there were some appearances there, obviously, but and listen, this will forever be my thing because obviously you can't do it with LeBron and Jordan. Brady beat him in a Super Bowl. So, no matter what, you are going to hold that over him forever. And it wasn't they snuck by. They got demolished.
Super Bowl, right?
Yes, they got demolished. And when he beat him in the AFC Championship game, went into his house and beat him.
Great game. Watch that a couple days ago. Great game.
So just saying, just throwing it out there. But
Thompson's number 1 for me. I don't you can call it. It's not just bias; it's also just obviously resume. I've seen the guy. What I've seen him do, for 23 years, it's tough. But I got Mahomes number 2. As I said, Joe Montana is incredible. no interceptions in the Super Bowl. Like, Super Bowl games, like that. Especially if they're playing in the era with that type of defense, those guys are trying to kill you. He didn't throw any picks. He's special. But I got him 3 now because I got Mahomes number 2. If they're able to three-peat, I mean, like it's good. Then we're getting close. We're getting close because if they three-peat, people gonna start to say that he's better than Brady because.
Oh, I mean, people are saying it now. So I mean, you give him more Super Bowl rings. They're going to be throwing.
Going three-peating though in this era, like not like the 70s with the Steelers and with the steel curtain and there was no free agency and guys weren't leaving. This is completely different. Modern era talent is out of this world. Things change and everything. So this would be insane if they were to be. Obviously, it's going to be very difficult, but it's very possible with this with 15 under center for the squad. He's a combination of Rodgers and Brady because what Rodgers wasn't able to do in the playoffs, Mahomes was able to do in the playoffs. The talent is definitely comparable between Rodgers and Mahomes, but Mahomes has that clutch factor. It's not like Rodgers was running to San Francisco full.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like what was it, like 1-4 or something like that against San Fran in the playoffs the last couple of years. This guy's 2-0 against San Fran in the Super Bowl. So it's just completely different. Like I said, he's a combination of both, and that's very scary. It's very scary. And I mean, does he need to get 8?
Yeah.
I don't know if he needs to get 8. I don't know if he needs to get 8. Let's just see what these next 5 years look like. I'll put it, but I already got him 2. But let's just see what these next 5 years look like. If it's like, if there's no gap in that, there's no 10-year gap like Brady did before he won 3 more. Then, like, say they lose, maybe say they lose and then they win and they go back. Like it's different. Really tough to see the future right now, obviously, because I'm pretty sure back then, we were younger. People thought that the Patriots was going on a crazy run too, and as we said, it took them 10 years to win another one. Of course, they went there almost twice, like you said, but it's difficult. Football is very difficult for them to be able to do what they've done this early, and for him to outplay the other guys that we supposedly think are like kind of on his level.
Yeah,
Burrow beat Mahomes. Beat Burrow, beat Allen, and Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson got two MVPs.
Yeah,
Lamar Jackson got 2 MVPs at 26. And it's like it doesn't matter because we got this guy in Kansas City, and that's it. Until he gets past him, no one's gonna care. He's like the Peyton Manning of this era. Lamar Jackson, Peyton Manning of this era. Can't beat the best guy. Great stats.
You think Lamar is? I think it's Josh Allen.
I mean, in terms of resume, Lamar has a better resume.
Well, no resume, but I think like of not being able to get past him is Allen, because I mean they've played each other in the playoffs 3 times now. He's lost all 3 times. Can beat him in the regular season, but can't get over that hump. And like he stopped him from going to Super Bowls. Like obviously, he just did that with Lamar, but I think I don't know. Josh Allen has to see Mahomes in his nightmares.
Yeah, well, I think all of them do.
Listen, that's a good point too.
To that one Burrow victory, but it's like with Burrow's health concerns and. You don't know. He's been injured. It's been in the league 4 years, and he's already missed 2 full seasons, pretty much. So he has that, and it's not like they were playing great when he was there. They started to turn it around before he got hurt. But
it's a pattern though, so it's okay. It's a pattern. First year he was hurt. Next year he came back, was healthy the full season, go to the Super Bowl. This year he's hurt, so that means next year he's gonna be healthy.
Yeah, we'll see. But from here on out, when it comes playoff time, it's just like the Patriots. I picked against them, and the only reason why I picked against them, I just want to see some parity. Like that's it. Like, I just wanted to see some, some rivalry. Oh, Mahomes versus Lamar, Mahomes versus John. But these guys, it just when it's time to play football between you, it just always gets it done. Like I said, it's just like Brady. So I'm done betting against the Chiefs as long as that guy.
Right now, it's a regular season rivalry.
So,
all right, let's do NFL news real quick. We'll run through a couple stories here that I believe CJ will pull up because I gotta believe it or not, your boy's hitting the gym these days. So I gotta skedaddle soon, but we got a few minutes here. We'll go over some quick NFL news and then we'll head out. What do we got first, CJ? I know the the franchise tag. Is it open now or it's about to be?
The tag stuff started yesterday. Yeah, we just go through a couple of these. Obviously, this is our squad right here. Right. Patriots new offensive coordinator Alex Van Pelt was with the Browns last year. Solid play caller. I like his scheme. He does good things. They asked about Mac Jones quarterback situation right now. Everything's on the table.
No, it's not.
It's not on the table. That's what you have to say at this point. But at 3, with the quarterback talent in the draft right now, I'd be shocked. I mean,
bro, I keep seeing things that they might trade down. CJ, when I tell you if they trade down, well, I won't be able to be on the internet for a few days because I would absolutely get canceled.
Yeah, that sounds like a Belichick move. I think Gerard Mayo's trying to do things his way. So I think they're going to do their due diligence with all the quarterback prospects.
Snap.
I believe they're going to take a QB. Obviously free agency is right around the corner, a couple weeks away. I think it's like March 12th, March 10th, March 12th. Mike Evans, big talk. They didn't pay him last year. I was kind of shocked by that. I don't know what they were doing, but I guess they thought he would kind of fall off when you hit that age 30 mark. People think you're not going to be the same. Clearly wasn't the case for Mike Evans. Still got 1K. Just he's a 1K beast. Yeah, he goes 1K. I think they get some type of deal done because I think they were a fan of what they saw for Baker. And of course, the NFC is not competitive.
I saw it too that Mike Evans is waiting to make a decision to see what they do with Baker, right?
Right, pretty much, and that says a lot about how he believes in Baker. I remember a couple quotes ago, a couple weeks ago, he said spoke highly of Baker. So that's good to hear. That's good to hear. So I get Baker like a 3-year deal with a lot of incentives. And of course, this is one of the greatest Buccaneers of all time. So you just do right by this guy. I don't get it. I mean, he was there when the team was dirt. He was there when the team was great. Now he's there when the team is like in the middle. It's like just make it happen. Make it happen. These teams, they overthink stuff. Bears quarterback Justin Fields, the mid-trade rumors. I want to stay in Chicago. So this is kind of like the first time we talked about this a little bit. What do you think the Bears are going to do?
I think they're going to end up trading him and draft Caleb Williams because I think they're too scared of the outcry if they don't do it. But I truly do think that if I was them, I'd keep Fields, trade the number 1 pick for the absolute moon and the stars, and then you still have. And then listen, and then you can trade back up because I think they won a couple games, so they dropped down to like the 7th pick or like the 10th pick. Something like that other pick that they have, which is actually theirs. You can take that, package it with something, move back up to, 4, something of that. Get Marvin Harrison Jr., pair him with DJ Moore, and then you're probably going to get at least 3 future first-round draft picks from somebody. I would do it. I think Fields is pretty good, and obviously Caleb Williams. I don't watch enough college football to give an accurate representation of what it is, But I mean, I think obviously everybody is in love with Caleb Williams. The only thing that scares me, and like I'll say, this is strictly going based off of stats, which I hate doing. Not very good against teams that were ranked during his college career. So he's very good against those unranked teams, but he played some competition, didn't exactly have some great numbers. So listen, it scares me a little bit because I don't need Dak Prescott. I need a number one pick. I don't need, we can beat teams below 500 and then above 500, we're terrible or mid at best. I need the number one pick to be able to beat anybody I throw out in front of him. So, and then obviously with Drake May, you get scared off with, North Carolina, and who do they really play? Do you want Mitch Trubisky? But I mean, people, I think Darius Butler, who's on, the Pat McAfee show, was talking about how he played golf with him, loved him. He would draft him first overall. He's a ginormous person, apparently. So, I mean, there's decisions there, but I think I would trade that first pick, get an absolute haul, draft Marvin Harrison Jr., and then you're really onto something. I mean, listen, who was this man throwing the ball to before? Before they got DJ Moore this year, obviously. Like, who was he really throwing the ball to? The good St. Brown is on the Lions. Not, Epimenius ain't,
Yeah, I agree. We'll just finish it up here with this one, right? Yeah, I would trade the first pick. It doesn't even look like Caleb wants to really go to the Bears anyway. So if you're able to get as much compensation as possible, teams like the Raiders, Vikings, one of these AFC teams come up there and get him, and he turns out to be really good. It's like, one thing I'll say that would be great for the league. And, maybe if the Raiders go get him, I think the Raiders could be a team that could go and move everything possible, because you got to be able to compete with not only now just Holmes. Now you got to compete with John Harbaugh and Justin Herbert with the Chargers. That's a different beast too. So if I'm the Broncos, if I'm the Raiders, I'm trying to do everything. I'm talking to Chicago every day. What do you want? Hey, what's up? Even if it's like, hey, how you doing? Just a regular quick conversation just to check in, because anything you need, because you got to be able to get that guy. I would keep Fields. They need that. The Bears need some type of stability. And I agree, man. Just try to get him some more weapons, fix that offensive line. And again, it's not like the NFC is, the juggernaut of quarterbacks. So just put the right pieces around him. He's going to be successful as long as he continues to improve, develop as a pocket passer. That's the key thing with him. As a runner, we know he can do. As a pocket passer, he still has to improve in terms of reading the defense and things like that. I would stay with Fields, build around him, and whoever gets that number one pick, I think that it takes Caleb. That'll definitely change the complexity of the league over the next 5 years.
Let's see. Gridiron said, DJ Moore, Komet, and Mooney are better than the Pats wide receivers. Well, listen, I think the three of us out there might have been better than the Pats wide receivers. And then also, of course, prayers to the parade shooting victims too. Absolutely. Literally insane that going to a championship celebration, that's what you got to worry about.
RIP. I believe it was a woman that passed away. RIP to everybody that was affected by their families. It's a tragic situation.
Absolutely. And listen, with that, I appreciate everybody tuning in. Appreciate CJ for being here as always. Gridiron, you're always a constant in these streams. And listen, we'll catch everybody in the next one. All right, y'all have a good one.
Catch you guys soon.